Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And I'm currently underway, if you did not know, in doing the 2400 challenge. This is getting 2400 arena rating on every single class. I'm streaming this live on twitch.tv/Supatease. And in this specific session, I was playing Holy Paladin and looking to push to grind it. I was thinking that it might have been one of the most difficult specs to do it on, but actually Paladin is in a surprisingly better position than it has been in the past, and that's because there's been a lot of changes made to the game and class balance changes and new items and such that has actually put Paladin into a lot better of a position than previously. So if you want to stay up to date with those changes, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I am bringing those updates and changes here onto the channel pretty much live and in real time with when they come out, so you can stay ahead of the competition. In this specific video, I'm fighting against Rogue Mage, very popular composition. They are also utilizing the Resonator grenade strategy, which is a very popular strategy that I'm going to talk over what you want to be doing when facing this type of composition and this type of strategy. So the Resonator is a new trinket that allows a target to throw a grenade to the ground that will explode after some time. It will have a circle on the ground. One of the best strategies to deal with this is to get out of it, but if you are unable to get out of it because you're stunned, your allies can move inside of it. And while they move inside of it, particularly against mages, they can break crowd control like polymorphs and soak the damage of the grenade. So whenever you see a target getting the grenade on them with a stun, you want to kind of jump onto that target almost in a savior maneuver to try and soak the hit for them, basically, is what you want to be trying to do. Against Rogue Mage, you want to be as greedy as possible. You only want to skim off like one cooldown at a time on every go. So in this particular situation, they've opened on me. I've used my wall. There's the grenade. My partners are too far away to soak the grenade, so I'm just going to use my bubble. And the main reason I'm just only using my bubble is because the enemy has used Combustion and Shadow Blade. So these are two very powerful cooldowns from the Mage and the Rogue. I would rather not trinket, get restunned, have to wings, then BM, maybe Divine Toll, and then have to bubble anyways at the end of it. If they've committed all of their aggressive cooldowns, I'm just going to respect that and trade immediately with my Divine Shield. After we've survived, we get aggressive. It's my job to run in and stun the healer and go after the target we're trying to attack, which is the Rogue. The Rogue ends up escaping. You want to be using your freedoms or your dispels and the frost novas of the warrior, specifically on the novas, or maybe a particular slow. Here we make a swap to the Paladin, and I actually pop my wings aggressively because I'm playing with a Vesper Totem Elemental, and when a Vesper Totem Elemental says they're getting their go, you really want to add damage to them. Here I'm in a kidney shot. My warrior's in a polymorph, but my shaman is not crowd controlled. So I'm going to trinket out of these two grenades, but my shaman could have moved into them. I think it's more than fair if I trinket on two grenades to avoid them, even though my shaman could have soaked it. It might have been risky. I already had wings rolling. Maybe I could have survived. But again, on every single go, I'm just trying to not be greedy. The only mistake that we did actually make in there was that the shaman trinketed as well. Again, you just want to be skimming off as little as possible because every trinket should stop a go. Every bubble or bop should stop a go. And if you're rotating between them, you should be able to survive for a very long time against Rogue Mage, which is what made Paladin actually feel very powerful to me in this matchup against Rogue Mage specifically. I was actually beginning to enjoy the matchup, and considering this is one of the most popular comps, if not the most popular comp right now, Paladin can be a great pickup. Here's a Frost Nova. We want to use our Blessing of Freedom on that, on our warrior as much as possible, just to get them out and open. And we want to play far away from the Paladin and the Mage, so this way if the Rogue opens on us, it's just going to be the Rogue for a little bit. Here I could have bopped the blind on my Shaman, or I saved the bop for myself on this stun, and I just line of sight. So again, I've used my bubble on the first stun, I've used my trinket on the second stun, and now I've used a bop on the third stun to try and escape in line of sight here at the balcony. And I stayed far away from the Mage and the Paladin so that they would only add as minimal amount of damage to me while I was stun locked as possible. However, now I have no stun breaks. I have no bubble, I have no trinket, no bops, but my warrior still has a trinket. We've survived their attempt. Now we're getting aggressive. I will hammer Justice the Paladin. We stun the Mage, lasso the Rogue, try and go after the Rogue, try and use freedoms on my warrior to get him back onto the Rogue. But right now, if we don't get the kill here, we've got to be thinking about how are we going to deflect the next hit? How are we going to bounce it off. And really, it's only the warrior in this position that can save me. The mage is casting polymorph on me. I could have casted sacrifice, but based on the way they were playing, I was imagining they're just going to keep going me. Here we kind of send a YOLO Hail Mary over at the mage with the Vesper Totem to try and take the mage out because we're so far on the back foot. I know they're going to set up on me out of the polymorph, so I've got to have my teammates help me. I don't have my wall. I could have pre-BM'd in this position, but with Warrior Trinket, intervene, disarm on Rogue. This means that I can't be stunned further from this point. And with the safeguard from intervene, I'm going to be taking less damage, which means I can come out of this and then pop a big heal. I use my Battle Master, Divine Toll. Again, maybe you don't want to use those both at the same time. You want to be like as greedy as you possibly can. If I could have gotten away there with only Divine Toll, it would have been better. I think one of the biggest mistakes is I see even for myself playing a healer in a Rogue Mage is you just overcommit too many things. You think like, oh, this cooldown should be enough, but then you have to use too much after that. So you've got to calculate like what's incoming at me, how big are the cooldowns. Right there was a combustion, so it felt like, you know, using a Battle Master with the combustion, I think is going to make sense. My trinket is coming up in 30 seconds, but I'm still going to need to survive another stun. And this is where the overlap of trinket between the shaman and myself could possibly have costed the game against Rogue Mage, because now in this next setup, I can't trinket, my shaman can't trinket, my warrior can't trinket. I need to get as far away as humanly possible. I see the mage DBing and sheeping, so it's time to book it away from the mage while they're busy trying to sheep. I pre-freed him in case the rogue opens on me without a stun to try and get behind the pillar and avoid the slow. And then I wrap around the corner and dispel my warrior out of polymorph. I've stalled to go long enough, and I tell him to intervene me immediately. This intervene is going to redirect damage, break crowd control, and also reduce damage on me. In the kidney shot is really the only reason that I survive. But they drop a resonator on me, and here I'm telling my warrior to come inside of the circle. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to at this time. They were trying to stop damage on the mage. But with that resonator, you want to get back. If there's any allies nearby, you want to get in that resonator and soak the damage because it will spread it out on multiple targets. It'll be a lot less scary. But we were able to survive that just by staying max range and then getting that pre-dispel before we got stunned. Honestly, we probably should have been dead on that push, but fortunately they made mistakes, and we put them in a position where they would be more likely to make mistakes, which is what you do want to be trying to do as much as possible. Then we go in, we get Hammer of Justice on the enemy healer. We can only see the mage, so I'm just lobbing out as much damage as I can with Wings Up, Hammer of Wrath, Judgment, and the rogue opens on me. Now I got to get away from the mage. I got to get away from the pally. They've been training me all game. They could kill my warrior though, with no trinket on warrior, so I'm a little bit worried about going too far away, and we just dropped a Vesper. So the rogue actually does shadow step over to me. No one is crowd controlled, so I should not need to use a trinket. They use a resonator on me. I tell my team to get in the resonator. We're going to get in the resonator. This is going to break the polymorph. Look how much less damage the resonator is going to do to us. So it's going to break crowd control, get my teammates out. They can assist me with disarm and intervene, and you do not want to trade cooldowns if your allies aren't crowd controlled. They should help you with grounding totems, healings, intervenes, whatever it is that you're playing with. Your allies need to help you when they're not crowd controlled, and you should be able to get away without using cooldowns unless the enemy shoves something like a combustion and they've got maximum damage. Here I get shadowy dueled. I tell my partners the rogue is on top of me. I have my trinket available again. We have shaman trinket available again, so we're in a good position to keep surviving. We can actually just run the paladin out of mana if it keeps going like this. Here I snap dispel the polymorph into a repolymorph, which means they're going to go after this, because there's no way to remove it. My warrior won't be able to assist, and I'm just going to trinket. I see shadow blades. I'm just going to trinket, move away. The combustion, I pop my walls as soon as it's available, get Bestow Faith rolling. Here's a bit risky, using Divine Favor right in front of the mage, because you can get spell stolen on that and counterspelled, and I've learned that on my paladin painfully. So that was pretty risky to do what I had just done there. It would have been better to generate instant holy power with Hammer of Wrath or Crusader Strike and use Word of Glory in that position. But as soon as we've survived, stun the paladin, try and stun lock the target you're attacking with Stormbolt. We get Hex on the mage. We're still going after the rogue. You want to be dumping your holy shocks aggressively here. You want to be putting as much of your damage out as possible during that window, because the only chance you can win is literally seconds after they've just about killed you. But now they've got another attempt, and I've got no way to break a stun, so my allies are going to need to help me. My warrior has fear to assist me, and my shaman doesn't have grounding, so it would be better in this position to have my warrior trinket, intervene, or fear than my shaman trinket. But I think my shaman trinkets and knocks the rogue away. They drop resonators on me. I try to get out of this, use Word of Glory and move away. My shaman got DB'd out of range of it, and you can see if the warrior trinketed there, it probably would have been a lot less dicey than me getting down to 1%, because they just disarmed the rogue. Could have feared the mage. Nobody really has a trinket on the team. Here I see counterspell down, so I'm going to just go for divine favor and try and line of sight with freedom and recover. And we do not want to use our BM here. Even though we're at 40% health, the damage is over. We're on stun DR. They're not going to try and kill us, so don't panic against rogue mage if you're at 30% health and they don't have any more stuns for you, because you'll just be able to slowly recover behind the pillar, and it's more important to save that battle master and save the divine toll. Then we immediately just turn the table, stun up the rogue, drop the Vesper totem, lob in as much damage as we can with a judgment holy shock, and just KO the rogue. So survive the go by using one cooldown, try not to overlap, immediately turn the table as soon as their attempt on your life is over, and just destroy them. Has been the main strategy that I've been trying against rogue mage specifically, and I've been really enjoying it on paladin. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it helps you. And other than that, thank you very much for watching the video. I will catch you in the next one.